We are waiting for you.
Okay. No. Oh. Okay. Wait. I need it. I'll get it.
Any need for headsets? No. Okay. Can we just use that for it to go loud? I always wanted to connect the one because now this man says later.
Yes, we'll do it later.
Okay.
Okay. You are ready?
Yes, we are. You are going to make it holding the phone.
Not my phone.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Instead of saying my phone. I very soon I think even in the vehicle will be remote control. On that.
Very possible. Okay.
I'll get it a bit.
You have an extra paper.
Come again?
An extra paper.
Extra paper.
It's a calling?
Yes. Oh, Lance.
Yes, sir.
When you cue us in, you can get us some
Paper.
plain paper and a pen.
Yes, please.
Me have one.
Okay. Okay.
Just a paper.
Just a bit.
Just papers. All right. What have you not seen?
And now the people see that.
It's not there.
It's here, but giving me something else.
Might be allowed to.
Yes. What was your explanation? You are saying
Where?
on the jingle.
Oh, it's there.
Yes.
But the one that's first coming is
Now.
no. The one that's coming are first the recordings. Since even all the
But
recordings.
do you have my flash there?
You got it.
Okay, on the flash, those things are there.
Okay, you can.
We are 5 minutes late.
It's not as wallet.
Yeah, we are
No.
not. No, we can.
Technical challenges.
There is nothing technical. It is deliberate.
You always lie for us when you are
Technical
late to say
challenges.
it's technical.
Those
challenges.
kindly just to tell them that. But on the flash, those things
Eventually, technical will be.
are mechanical.
Yes, will be mechanical.
Okay, you.
We used to experience that in Livingstone. In Kowai, a technical. 2 weeks. Technical challenges. In Kowo it was bad. 1993, 94, 95. And would wait for the weekly post to come to be updated.
Your dad was the IJ.
Yes, he was at one time there. In fact, commissioner of police.
Yes, commissioner of police.
Yes, yes. And he was also in Livingstone as a commanding officer there. between 1990 and 95.
Okay.
Well, set.
That's how I got to know about Livingstone.
Okay.
And I got to cherish about the vegetables, the rep. Would go behind.
Okay, stand by.
And today is 26.
Senzo pezeka.
All right. A very good morning to you, our dear listener, and welcome to today's edition of the People's Debate on your number one radio, Pan African Radio, broadcasting on 96.1 FM in Lusaka Province, Southern Province, Central Province, and of course surrounding areas. My name is Caesar Sindele, and in the studio I've been joined by two guests. I have PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin Chendela Erasmus Mukondo, and Social Justice and Human Rights Defender Maiko Zulu. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to this interview.
Good morning, Comrade Caesar, and good morning, listeners.
Good morning, Comrade Caesar, and good morning, our listeners and viewers out there.
Right, Mr. Zulu, it's been quite a long time when I hosted you on this platform.
Yes, it's been long.
Now,
I'm happy to be back.
yeah, it's good to see you after such a long period of time. Mr. Mkondo, you were here recently, should be 2 weeks ago.
Yes, 2 weeks ago.
We were talking social media politics.
Yes, social media politics. And
Now we are back, we continue the
back
same.
again with the same.
For an obvious reason.
Yes, for another.
All right. We're discussing social media politics in relation to the promotion of peace, unity, and democracy in Zambia as we march to the general elections slated for August 12. And I know everyone is ready to vote. People want to vote and see the way forward. Now, you'll be calling us, our dear listener, by coming through on the direct studio lines 0950650916, as well as 0974760894 for your question to the studio guests, or simply expression of a view or concern regarding our topic of discussion. Now we quickly delve into what has brought us on this platform. You gentlemen had some kind of bad blood recently. On 16th July, you, Mr. Michael Zulu, accepted an apology from Mr. Mukondo following the publication of a slanderous accusations against yourself, which were shared on various social media platforms, including the PF Information and Publicity Desk platform, which Mr. Mukondo runs. Now, for the sake of our listener, Mr. Zulu, what were the contents in that publication that really vexed you?
Well, basically, first of all, thank you, Comrade Caesar, for allowing myself and the Comrade Mukondo to be in one booth. First of all, it shows some coexistence.
Yes.
Yes, because obviously, like you rightly put it, the genesis of our meeting with Mr. Mukondo started on a bad note, when I realized that there was some content on social media which was quite all right, talking about tribalism, but also quoting me to say I issued those particular remarks, castigating and named the political party leader of the opposition.
Which opposition? No, we have
the
so many.
The
opposition.
UPND. There was allegations that I said some things about the UPND's the UPND presidents being tribal and things like that. It's something that ran on social media. Bottom line is that I did not utter those sentiments, and I had not had a chat with any journalist or with Mr. Mukondo over the attribution that the news that was attributed to me. So it got me worried. As you know, we are in a very sensitive political time, where there is campaigns and where propaganda, both good and bad, plays a very vital role. Let's not misunderstand what propaganda is, but let's appreciate the fact that there is good and bad propaganda. So for me, I felt injured with the stories, and obviously, I sought refuge in the arms of the law. So I reported the matter, and eventually, I think the police had contacted Mr. Mkondo, and that's the first time we met actually. I know we had met unofficially before, but all in all, that is what happened, and obviously we discussed the matter. I made it very clear that it's quite slanderous, and the fact that I did not utter those sentiments, it also brought to light, the importance of the new law. I think it's one of the last laws that was enacted.
The cyber
crimes and
security
cyber security bill, which is law now. So, and seeing that the story was mainly on social media, so it was. I thought it was the right process to go, and but here we are. Mr. Mkondo explained. I'm sure he's going to make his own explanation, and we moved forward. Obviously, there had to be mediation, you see, which is also a very, very strong part in the political landscape, and also in just humanity. Mediation is very, very important, because I don't know if I can put it out that my our mediator in this particular case was the interviewer himself, Comrade Caesar, who is a very good friend of mine from way back, and obviously when I got a call from Comrade Caesar to say I would like to mediate over this thing, there is an issue that was raised which is in the hands of the law. So I said, I agreed that we meet and we had a discussion and we mapped the way forward as men, and now I'm glad to say we are very good friends with Mr. Mkondo.
That's good.
Yes. And,
the other question
despite the fight, and despite him being, my subject, because all Bembas are my subjects. So we have moved forward, and here we are.
Well, that's great.
On the program together.
That's great. It shows maturity.
Yes.
Now, I want to find out, since Mr. Mkondo was not the author of such, false, allegations about you, why didn't you take to task the publishers?
It's because Mr. Mkondo republished that, and obviously the Patriotic Front is a huge party. It's the party, okay? It's the ruling party. It's the biggest party. So for that story to appear on the PF desk, it carried more weight even than the person who may have authored that, and Mr. Mkondo is accessible. The PF were accessible, so in any investigation, I think that is the first step that is taken, and I think that is why I took that route.
Right, Mr. Mkondo, why did you republish on your platform?
Comrade Caesar, before I answer that one, allow me to appreciate the position that my fellow comrade, and then also the man who has always stood for justice, has always represented. That is Maiko Zulu. I want to be thankful with him for understanding our position, especially that I'm representing the Patriot Front, and whatever I utter represent also the party. As he said, that it could be something which is coming from some other sources, but once it is amplified by the Patriot Front, it will mean that gives it legitimacy. So beyond the facade of social media, I think he talked about coexistence, very important. I want to appreciate the fact that I'm learning also something that we need to look at individuals when we talk about this issue. It could be positive or negative, as he has already said, but it could have some also malice attached to it, and then also, slender, in the sense that it was not him who had issued the statement. So basically, I think we exist in a pool of knowledge, in a pool of information, and as such that we don't take some time to even investigate some of these issues. So I think it's one of those issues, the Patriot Front desk, it represents the party, as he has rightly said, and we normally come close to almost over 200 posts per day. And that calls for a serious review, that calls for serious editing, and then also making sure that the information that we post, it is legitimate and it's coming from the credible sources. But this time around, I think, we are caught in that heat of firefighting or fighting with the UPND at that time. It was posted on the 9th of June. And at that time, I think, if you remember very well, I think we had some cases of, is it the Electoral Commission of Zambia? It had put a ban, and then we are all in that mood of pointing fingers on each other. And, we were looking for information, and the information, whoever would come across to give us the right information to criticize the position of the UPND. In this case, I think Tukambeko News, which is one of our surrogates, came up with some of the news. And we thought that was source information that had actually emanated from Michael Zulu. And we published it, and I published it myself because it was rich. The content was rich, but after I was told that it was not him, we had to withdraw. But unfortunately, also the June was very sad. It was a very sad period. We started with the death of the Nigerian pastor. That was on the 60th, that TB Joshua, and then we had the other big people who are dying. Eventually, our late president, gallant leader, one Kenneth Kaunda passed on, and then also I had my own predicament. My father passed on, Chandra Musonda Jr., also senior, passed on. And it took almost 1 month before I think he approached me. It came to almost July 6th. And then if you look at the apology, came on the 16th of July 2021. I was also in that confusion, which by law you cannot justify, because at the end of the day you are supposed to be responsible enough to see that whatever content you communicate to the people, to the general public, it's genuine information. But I was not available. But it's through the police, Woodland Police, I was called, and I think I spoke to our brother here and our comrade, Michael Zulu, who expressed disappointment over what I had posted and accepted from Genesis. But it was not just a matter of Genesis, and that was the reason why I had to drag you in, so that you would come and mediate between us. And I thank God that I had picked the right person to mediate between us. And you told me, being a professional journalist, and I think behind the facade of all this, whatever you do, you have been one of my pillars when it comes to ethics of journalism, because I'm an accountant by profession. So I appreciate, and the face, and then also the danger that we face, especially that us as admins living in this new political world now, that has this new emergence of the law, which is the Cyber Act. You educated me a lot, and you made me to move ahead to see the face of my friends.
Politicians rarely apologize. But we saw you apologize.
Yes, I think that's a new face that I want to represent, and that should be the way forward, and shouldn't be something which is out of reach, especially that Zambia is a Christian nation, and you have always espoused the tenets of Christianity, and then also democracy. And then besides that, there's this combination of having the Day of Reconciliation. I thought it was important that I've always been coming here. I think in 2019 you invited me here to talk about peace and reconciliation. And then besides that, just 2 weeks ago, I was talking about this same social media and the importance of coexistence. And then also to make sure that what was signed at the Electoral Commission of Zambia 2 weeks ago materialized. I thought in that spirit I should accept. Once you have erred, and it's important that you show maturity, you sober up, and you show the human face. Because beyond that, if you keep on arguing, you are making things difficult for the other party, who could be in business, and in most cases, like my brother here, is a very versatile person. He's a person who has been across different dynamics of life. So you couldn't know what you are injuring him on. So I thought it is important that I see the face of St. Michael's, and then this face, it represents humanity, it represents justice, it represents beyond what I can say as a
I think he
politician.
likes calling you St. Michael.
Well,
Why can't
I'm
you-
coming from the old school.
it will never,
Where I go.
it will never be erased. That
Oh.
one.
It's your brand.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
it will never be erased. You'll be calling us on 0950-650-916 and 0974-760894. And I'm having an interface with the PF Information and Publicity Desk Chief Admin Chandela Erasmus Mukondo and Social Justice and Human Rights Defender Michael Zulu, formerly St. Michael. Right. We are looking at social media politics. And of course, you have given us your position on the acceptance of the pardon from Mr. Mukondo, and we are looking forward to having more engagements with you as we do politics. Right now, Mr. Zulu, what should be done, to create a friendly social media environment, especially that one relating to politics in this country?
Comrade Caesar, what should be done, in my humble opinion, is exactly what is being done now. Because if you heard what Mr. Mkondo was saying, when you said politicians never apologize, what happened? So it's a precedent that he has set. Okay. And he also mentioned that in answering you, he said, I'm bringing a new face into the politics. So for me, going forward, I think we must understand that politics is a battle of ideas. And believe me, even in my own home, we don't always agree on political matters, either with my wife or my children. There is that, allowance where someone is free. I don't, as a father, in other things, yes, I'm a dictator in the home. Yes, in raising the children, in running the home, there is no negotiations. Okay, but where now it comes to expression, I'm giving you an example at the most basic level, the household level, the family level. If it's football, we may support the same team, but others don't support what my wife and me and my wife support. In politics, we always discuss these ideas. What is important is that it never breaks us as a family. As a family unit, we are strong and strong and stronger as we go. So when you replicate that, you magnify that at national level, you find that instead of me, my wife, Sister D, and the Muizas there, the other children, you look at it as now the Michaels, the Caesars, the Mkondos, as